Ladies and gentlemen, we know that religions, if not all, most of them, do talk about environmental issues, and they do address the relationship between humans and nature. And certainly all of religions um, consider the relationship or this relationship as a sacred relationship, and that we have a moral and spiritual responsibility to living in harmony and in balance with our surroundings, with the ecology, with environment, and with nature. There are many attempts by different religions over the past few decades to bring out the beauty of these religions and how they are related to environment and nature. And certainly Islam is one of them. And there have been in the past many contributions, great contributions by scholars, by schools of Islamic studies, by individuals, highlighting the relationship between the environment and Islam, and how Islam calls for a balanced system of existence, of creation between all creations, whether living or non-living things, and humans. And certainly Islam, in many verses, hundreds of them in the Holy Quran and in the Hadith and in the practices of Prophet Muhammad and his companions, and of course later on the Islamic civilization. And all of these contribute to not controlling, but directing our behavior towards living in balance with our natural resources. Of course, I wouldn't forget all the efforts in 2015 leading up to COP, I believe it was COP 21, the Paris Agreement, where there was an Islamic declaration on climate change, bringing in different Islamic sects together and presenting to the global community a unified position of the Islamic nation in terms of climate change and our responsibility. There have been many books, many articles, many publications by renowned speakers on the relationship between Islam and the environment. However, what we with our partners from the Islamic community and scholars, and certainly after we have had a meeting of the Conference of the Islamic Nation, Ministers of Environment of Islamic Nations, in October 2018, I believe, or 19, I forgot it was, yeah, 19. And there, the conference adopted a strategy for engaging with faith actors and on Islamic and environment. And during that conference, a group of people came together and discussed what else can we do? How can we bring this beauty in the relationship between environment and the directions that are given in the Islamic culture to the upfront of the international community, not only to serve Muslims and Islamic institutions, but also to be a guidance to humanity in general. So it was agreed with the partners, the Islamic Foundation on Ecology and Environmental Studies, ICISCO, of course, a number of important scholars who have contributed to the previous declarations, that we need to bring something that unifies all Muslims around one coherent message, or a number of coherent messages coming from the Islamic culture. So the idea of al-mizan means the balance in English, and it means in Arabic that God created everything in balance, the skies, the systems of being in general, the living and non-living thing, everything everything has been created in balance according to the Holy Quran. So the idea of coming up with an outcome document, a covenant, an outlook document that highlights this beautiful aspect of Islam and also puts forward some recommendations for individuals as well as institutions to follow, to live the way Islam has requested Muslims to live. So we started working on the covenant. We have 13 renowned, very respectful scholars from different sects, different regions representing Islam, and they started working together in putting the Al-Mizan document, a covenant for the earth. And over the past 2 years, this work has progressed. A draft document was shared with hundreds of Islamic institutions. Some excellent feedback has been received from institutions, and the feedback has been now integrated into the document, and that represents, the consultative process, which is an Islamic perspective. Ashura is something that we are all obliged to use as a method of consultation and coming up with things that might determine how Muslim individuals and institutions work and perform. So currently, and the document has been shared, currently we have a very latest draft. It's been already translated into Arabic. The Arabic version is being reviewed now. And hopefully what we're hoping is to have it adopted by an Islamic system, maybe ISISCO, maybe the Cooperation of Islamic Organization, and so on and so forth. So it could be a guiding principles for Muslims and for humanity. And for this purpose, today we're coming together with some representatives of the scholars who have worked day and night on this document to tell us about, the content of this covenant and what are the Islamic teachings and prospects that resonate with everybody in humanity, and how can we take this to a movement, not only to be a standalone document, but to lead actions and activities and projects and programs and be effective on the ground with humanity and certainly Muslims. So today we will have a number of renowned speakers who will be with us. We will start with the two co-editors or authors of the document, Sidi Fazlun Khalid and Dr. Uthman Lewlin. And I will introduce them briefly, and then we will hear their wisdom, the efforts that they have put into this, and what does this document present, and what are the messages that it talks about. So Sidi Fazlun Khalid has a worldwide reputation as a pioneer in the field of Islamic environmentalism, having been involved in this work since 1980s. He was recognized as one of 15 leading ecotheologians in the world. And he founded the Islamic Foundation for Ecology and Environmental Sciences, which is now established as the world's leading Islamic environmental NGO. His book, which was published 2 years ago, Signs on the Earth, Islam, Modernity, and the Climate Crisis, published in 2019, has been described as a masterclass in framing contemporary issues from a faith perspective. And Dr. Uthman is an ecological planner and member of the IUCN World Commissions on Protected Areas and Environmental Law. Dr. Uthman authored Saudi Arabia's current protected area system plan. He was born in Colorado, USA. He has lived in the Arabian subcontinent since 1982 and working to conserve its natural heritage. His research interests focus on the ecological implications of Islamic ethics He wrote the basis for a discipline of Islamic environmental law in Islam and ecology, a bestowed trust by Harvard. He co-authored Environmental Protection in Islam by IUCN and was on the drafting team of the Islamic Declaration on Global Climate Change in 2015.